Hey there guys, I've just got the panel outside, testing with the clean film, and as far, got 14 volts on the panel, it's up to 19 open voltage, and I'm putting in 2.29 amps. I'm just going to go a bit more. So the panel definitely works well outside. It's been outside for at least half an hour before I've plugged it in, because I was just waiting for the extension cord. And as you can see, clean film hasn't melted. It's definitely not blocking production. So as an EVA alternative, well, so far so good. I can see in some of the panels it's very smooth. There's a slight curve to the board, and slightly stuck to some of the panels, but it's flawless. There's no bubbles, nothing trapped behind it. Got some of the lines from where the clean film is obviously overlapped, but again that's not bothering production at all, and that could be smoothed out if you did it properly. Start from the middle because of the size of the clean film, and then line it up on the outside. I just started from the top and worked down, but that looks great. I am putting in 2.3 amps at 14 volts. It is pretty blaringly bright. There is some clouds. You see a very fine overcast. Very fine, and there's the sun. Sorry about it, blinded you. But as for output, solid. Pretty solid. There we are. It's a bit clear. So that's my output. And I'll check this again. I've seen a few hours time really. I don't think I'll have to worry about it too much, and it should all be good. Alright then. Well, take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. So, hey guys, it's been a few hours now that it's been running. We're still putting out nearly 3 amps now at 13 volts, so it's varied down. It was 14 originally, but stepped down the voltage to increase the current output with blaringly bright sun. No overcast skies, well, mostly. And everything's running. It hasn't burnt. The clean film hasn't melted. It's actually lifted off the panel now. Before it was touched to the surface because of when I had it in the house. It had a slight bend in it, but the heat has expanded the air and it's inflated it. So it hasn't melted. It hasn't gone all funny, and it's got tighter around the edges, so it must be shrinking a little as like shrink wrap up. So it's an EVA alternative. It's not interfering with the panel, and it's a damn sight cheaper than £100 per roll at £1 odd per roll of clean film. So far so good. I'm going to leave it for the rest of the day and hope that it doesn't set on fire. The back of the panel is quite hot, given that it's just wood. Obviously it'd normally be metal, but it's doing pretty well to hold together. No cracks in the, well, no additional cracks in the solar cells. Nothing's split, which is what I was slightly expecting with the pipe sealant that I've got on the back of them, but it's holding up very well and it's doing perfectly fine. So far so good. And I'll do another report later on. That's the output now. It's just past midday as well, so in retrospect the sun's as hot as it's going to be, but the afternoon it does get a lot hotter. And the grid tie inverter is doing well as well. The fan hasn't come on yet because it's just not putting out as much as 200 watts, but it is putting out power, and it's all well. It's all running on an extension lead, so it's running power down that and all the way back to the house. So it's doing very, very well. Again guys, that's the update for now. Take care, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. So the day's gone on now, and it's 13.7-ish volts. This voltmeter does jump around a bit. but the output current has gone higher at 3.20. Let's round it round. So obviously there's correlation. If this was putting out 14, that current will drop, so there's an overall wattage of around 44, 45 watts. Yeah, it's a 144 watt panel. Obviously that's maximum output, but I think I've got the catch-22 of I need voltage. Straight up, need voltage. The system itself was up at 19 volts open circuit, but obviously under load it drops down. So grid tie inverter's been running all the time. A little fan at the back there has been flicking on and off. And then so it's either getting warm or it's just obviously getting warm, but the actual thing itself is cool to the touch, perfectly fine in the shade here. But yeah, if I was to build another panel, I did a little bit of the maths, and I would actually put towards a or if I needed a 21 volt system, I'd actually put towards a 25 volt solar cell, being that there's going to be losses, inefficiencies, and obviously under load it's going to drop the voltage naturally. At this point it's doing the job, not as much as I wanted it to be, as much as this should be, but obviously like I say the voltage is down and the grid tie inverter kicks up a fuss about voltage. I'd imagine if I was running an inverter it would obviously accept the higher voltages. This would be happily charging a battery easily, very easily. That's the main thing about it. Yes, I don't have a clean film on no more. I took it off to see what else happens in the sun. It was again perfectly fine, didn't melt, didn't bend, buckle or cause a problem with the output. It's exactly the same. Obviously the only thing that I had with that clean film being over it, it created an air pocket inside, and obviously heat is an issue for solar panels. The hotter they get, the less efficient they are. The overall thing is still warm. Actually, it's warmer to the touch. It's not as hot as it was earlier, but it is getting on afternoon now. The panels themselves are cooler, but they're still hot, nice and hot. So that's another thing either I'm gonna have to compensate for, or just a case of tough luck. Being I'm gonna have the perspex on the border here as slightly raised, but I have to have it raised. As you can see, some of the panels aren't flat, and if I was to put the perspex on the panels, they would buckle, break. Simple as that. When it gets hot, they would expand, pulling them apart. When it gets cold, it would contract, crushing them. So having the perspex off, given that it is subject to expansion and contraction under heat, it's best off having it off. I might actually try get a vacuum seal between these. Might work. Probably after a bit of time, of course, it'd eventually suck in air and not be vacuumed anymore. But it's always worth a shot. Okay, so the overall output is still working. Yep, just in my last update video. I thought it might be doing that. So yeah, obviously the whole thing's still running on an extension cord back to the house. As for a day test, it's been very good. As for an EVA alternative, definitely clean film does work. Simple as that, it does work. But yeah, I'd try also get to a higher voltage panel, much higher voltage. This inverter, grid tie inverter, is 10.5. Completely ignore that. You want minimum 13 volts. Definitely minimum 13 volts. And it goes up to 28 volts input, but I'll probably get a 30 volt solar panel if I could, being that it's going to be dropping efficiencies with heat loss and general just loss in efficiencies that naturally occur. It's definitely been a good test. It's been easily the hottest day for a good year. Easily the hottest day. Thank God it's a bank holiday Monday. And it's been coping really well. Nothing's, again, warped badly. Actually, nothing's warped. All the panels become more flat than what it was before. Nothing's melted, set it on fire, or blew up. So that's my solar panel. That's my project. It will be going up out front of the house. Once the perspex comes, sitting up on top of the secondary roof, out of the way, Hopefully no kids will throw stones at it, which is probably going to happen, but oh wow. It's been a good project, it's worked, and it's, in hindsight, it's a lot easier to do than what it is, what I thought it would have been. Obviously I've had to use different materials, but we all have making the panels, do it in our own different ways, but it just shows to go that actually you can use pretty much stuff from Poundland to build a solar panel, minus the actual solar panels themselves, and the frame, and the inverter, of course, grid inverter. Okay guys, that's the last update for the day. It's been good. Okay, thanks for watching, take care, and as ever, I'll see you later.